Alright folks, we've returned. Let's start a new beginning, 2-6. Matthew, you put Colin James behind bars, but our work is not over. Rivki Gelber is still wandering around the burning streets. She refuses to evacuate. As dangerous as it is, we need to get back into those burning streets. Mrs. Gelber, you must leave this area immediately. We will get you to safety. I can't leave. Some little thug ripped my Esther's doll from my hands. If I don't find it, I will have lost everything I have left of my family. Please help me, Marshal Matthew. Madam, I am sure Marshal Matthew can find the pieces of your daughter's doll in this street, but you must leave at once and get to safety.
Jennifer Durning, the 17-year-old Canadian high school student who disappeared 2 months ago while on her senior class trip here in New York.
This is preposterous. No one asked, Mr. Gates. Bail.
The people request remand.
And the defense moves for immediate dismissal of all charges. The people can't even make out the basic elements of the crime, Your Honor. Jennifer Durning has a history of running away.
Once when she was 14.
They can't prove she's dead. They still don't have the body.
That's true, Miss Novak?
Yes, Your Honor.
On what basis were the defendants arrested?
A tip to the police hotline saying
Doll
Mr.
pieces.
Beverly was leaving the country. The tip was arrested him boarding a chartered plane to Rio de Janeiro.
Which is not a crime. And where my client's father was taking him on legitimate business for his produce company.
And from where convenient, we would never be able to extradite him.
Do the people have any evidence that a rape or murder?
Fire hydrant.
Enough to guarantee an indictment. We have a videotape of the defendants serving the victim alcohol just before she disappeared. Now, beyond that, the people are not prepared to divulge anything.
Okay. Oh dear, Matthew. This looks like the doll Mrs. Gelber lost, but it's ripped to bits. We can't give the doll back to Mrs. Gelber in its current state. It will shatter what is left of her spirit. You believe that you can repair the doll, Matthew? It would mean the world to her.
So ordered. However, until the people secure indictments, they have no choice but to grant the defense motion. The charges of rape and murder are dismissed.
Alright. Sorry about that, guys. My tablet ran low on battery, but I got 8 energy. I was able to complete the doll. Capital work, Matthew. You repaired the doll. We can return to the airship and give it to Mrs. Gelber.
IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus.
Can you let the manager know I'd like a really great deal?
He already knows.
Great deals all month long at the Chrysler Black Friday event. Lessees of Honda, Toyota, Volkswagen.
And let's return the doll.
3,000 total cash allowance on the purchase of 2017.
Mrs. Gelber, Marshal Matthew found the doll that was stolen from you. Oh, thank you, Marshal Matthew. I don't know what I would have done if it was lost forever. They did steal it from me, you know. I'm not like that strange man who just throws things away. Strange man who throws things away? In the market, there was a man, and he was running from the fire, and he was carrying a big metal box. He seems very afraid of the box. He threw it away and ran off. Now that I think about it, that happened before I saw the cow tipping that oil lamp. Which means the cow did not start the fire, and that man's behavior sounds very peculiar indeed. I shall take my leave now. While I was looking for the doll, I found this fireman's mask. Perhaps it could be of use to you. Thank you. Matthew, what do you make of Mrs. Gelber's story about a strange man running away from the fire? I am loath to waste time investigating the ramblings of a bereft woman. I'm not. Count me in for searching the market with you, Matthew, as long as Rasputin can come along. Matthew, before you leave, we've had word from the prison. Colin James insists upon speaking with you. Does Mr. James have something else he needs to confess? I do not know. He refuses to speak to anyone but Matthew. Matthew, I shall go to the prison. Please join me on your way back from the market so we can interrogate Mr. James.
The streets of Havana are somber as Cuba mourns the death of former President Fidel Castro. 9 days of national mourning began in the island nation. During this time, the Cuban flag will fly at half-staff, and all activities will stop.
Let's investigate the Market Street first.
Cuba and antagonized the United States for nearly 6 decades. He was a polarizing figure, often called a revolutionary leader or a brutal dictator. And while the streets of Havana are quiet, as Kara Kinnear shows us, Miami's Cuban exile community celebrated in their streets.
I can see it. I can see the
streets of Miami's
clue.
Little Havana erupted with joy Saturday after news of the death of Cuban leader Fidel Castro. He died at the age of 90 after ruling Cuba for nearly 5 decades.
Melted gas canister.
Cuban President Raul Castro
Guitar.
announced his brother's death on state television late Friday. The Cuban exile community in Miami began celebrating immediately.
Bananas horse. Perfect. $9.94, $200. Mountie, do you think this half-melted gas canister could be what Mrs. Gelber saw being thrown away? It looks like the canister narrowly escaped the fire. There seem to be numbers on the side, but I can barely read them. Can you have a look?
Miami's mayor was out on the streets as well. He struck a philosophical note about the death of
there
the
we go.
dictator.
This moment is transcendental because Fidel Castro was not just a person.
Hold on.
Not just
UH Law School grads
Okay, there we go.
track toward paying off their student debt. U.S. News World Report ranked UH Law School in the nation's top 10 for that. The magazine considers William S. Richardson School one of the best schools in the country for starting salaries compared to the debt that grads carry.
03
shows the average debt for grads at about $56,000.
342.
But the median starting salary, $77,000 a year for private sector jobs.
Well, the identifying marker you found on the gas canister seems to be some type of serial number. That's strange.
That's right.
What do you say, Rasputin? Shall we go have a look at the number back at the lab?
Step into the lava lab at the University of Hawaii, and you're transported into a virtual reality dream come true.
I think that was 4.
This is the Cyber Canoe, UH Manoa's new hybrid visualization system. It combines immersive 3D virtual reality
9 hours.
with ultra-high resolution display walls, leading the way in data visualization.
I'm going to be out tomorrow, so I'll get the results tomorrow when I come home. Mr. James, Marshall Matthew is here. What did you want to tell us? Look, I know I was very wrong to kill Harriet. I should have killed that awful Oscar Trefusis instead. Mr. James, saying that you should have killed someone else will not change your prison sentence. Why the sudden change of heart concerning Trefusis? I only said I appreciated him because I needed to keep my post. As this is no longer a concern, I can speak my piece. Trefusis is an exploiter, and he'll keep using people if you don't stop him. Trefusis is part of some scheme to use Irish immigrants for slave labor. We know that he treated Harriet almost as a slave, but you are claiming that there is a greater scheme? Very well. We will look into your allegations, but this had better not be a waste of Marshall Matthews' time.
With a diameter of 16 feet and walls 8 feet high, the Cyber Canoe...
Mr. James's accusations against his ex-employer are severe, Matthew. But as much as I dislike the man, we cannot simply accuse Trefusis of enslaving Irish immigrants without proof. Right you are, Matthew. We must head back to the Trefusis home and demand entry. Marshall Matthew, what is the meaning of this? Why must you persist in hounding me? Haven't you got your man, as they say? My butler, no less. Here I am, once more answering my own door like some base commoner. What on earth do you want? Mr. Trefusis, we must search your home once again. Please step aside. I most certainly shall do no such thing. You will step aside, sir, or you will be fined for interfering with the police investigation. Your superiors will hear of this invasion of privacy. Mark my words. Yeah.
Waterfalls on the shore side rocks, and I'll have more on our windy weather and the waves when we come back.
Get your island news, weather, and traffic with the new and improved KITV News app.
Aha.
It's Black Friday, and we're taking the galaxy by storm. The new 2017 Nissan Rogue has arrived, and it's at your local Nissan dealer during the Go Rogue year-end event. event. Hurry in for Black Friday savings on Rogue and the rest of the Nissan lineup. Take on any Galaxy. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in theaters December 16th. Right now, save up to $27.50 on the 2016 Rogue, or save up to $10,000 on select trucks.
There we are. Father Donovan is on the flyer you found. He is requesting help for the immigrants. How kind of him. However, Trefusis did not seem to be the charitable type. We had better retrieve whatever was written on the bottom of the flyer. Using my new tablet for this.
Continuous holiday favorites, all the way until Christmas Day.
We've seen gusty trades today, and our winds will stay up for the rest of the weekend, thanks in part to high pressure, strong high pressure to the north of the islands. There's also low pressure off to the southwest, and that pressure.
Matthew, there's an encoded message on the bottom of Father Donovan's flyer. Let us decrypt this code post-haste.
Forecast models, while the winds will be up, showers will remain light. Just a little bit of moisture expected to move into windward sections over the next 24 hours. But once again, a wind advisory up at the southern end of the state for both the Big Island and Maui through tomorrow night, where we could see gusts up to 50 miles an hour, especially for downslope areas as those strong winds come rushing down the mountainsides. Also areas like the ridgelines exposed to those strong winds could feel the very gusty conditions throughout the next 24 hours. 20 to 35 mile an hour winds for parts of the Big Island and Maui with those stronger gusts in the forecast. Strong winds have also kicked up big surf for our eastern shores, 6 to 10 feet for our eastern beaches, bumpy and rough surf for our eastern shores with those winds very strong. High surf advisory up for our eastern beaches, as well as small craft advisories and gale warnings for our channels. Speaking of surf, take a look at this sunset shot taken over on the west side.
You're becoming a rather dab hand with that machine, Matthew. You successfully obtained a set of numbers from that code on Father Donovan's flyer. Of course, they're meaningless by themselves. We had better send the numbers to Miss Holloway.
Oranges and the yellows being lit up as the sun went down. And we'll see more high clouds
6 hours?
again coming
Yep.
over the states.
Get the results tomorrow.
Upper level winds will
So for now, this is Matthew.
over the island,
See you
at
then.
times blocking a bit of the
Alright folks, we've returned. Let's get the results and serial number first. My plans today got rained out, so that's why I'm here today. Thought I'd be getting into it a lot later. Matthew, believe me or not, but the serial number on the half-burnt gas canister we found in the street indicates that it came from the Concordian Police Department's evidence room. It was logged during a simple robbery case from a few months back. I just wonder how it ended up half-burnt in that market. And you say Mrs. Gelber mentioned seeing a strange man toss a metal can away? Clearly someone took it from the evidence room, but to what end? I agree, Matthew. We ought to talk to the evidence room clerk. I think he's called Edward Wimple. I do not think much of paper pushers, but we'll bring him in. Oh boy, going back to this again. Marshal Matthew, this is Edward Wimple, evidence clerk. Wimple, this is our newest detective, Marshal Matthew. How do you do, Marshal Matthew? Mr. Wimple, this gas canister Marshal Matthew found at the market bears an evidence room serial number. A piece of evidence was taken out of the evidence room as if the station catching fire wasn't bad enough. The evidence room caught fire? We must go there immediately. Did you not hear me? The place is still on fire. If you go there now, you will surely die. Fine then, Wimple. We shall wait. Let us know the instant the evidence room becomes accessible. Matthew, I don't know how you cope with these interrogations all day. Just one and I'm famished. I need a boost. Besides, it's almost time for Rasputin's afternoon snack. Care to join us for a bite to eat? Personally, I like a mouse as a pet, despite the fact that a pet is a big responsibility no matter what happens, no matter what you get. Matthew, the set of numbers on the flyer you found is a reference to Concordia's favorite publication, the Concordian Gazette. The first numbers gave me the date of the publication. The other numbers indicated pages and words, meaning people would need to read the second word on the fourth page, for example. I shan't ask how you worked that out, Miss Holloway. I imagine it was terribly time-consuming. Anyhow, what does the message say? I can tell you that without a problem. The message says, "Go here for cheap Irishmen." It would appear that someone was selling Trefusis to go to Father Donovan for cheap Irish labor. Matthew, this corroborates what Colin James told us. We must speak to Oscar Trefusis immediately to see what he has to say for himself. About the hidden message. Mr. Trefusis, Marshal Matthew found a flyer for Father Donovan's immigrant interrogation mission in your home. A code was written on the paper. It reads, "Go here for cheap Irishmen." I dare say, sir, these are people, not commodities. Oh, that flyer, yes. Well, this is really nothing to be alarmed about, just a little help between people of good standing. The native Concordian workers ask for such ridiculous salaries, you see, but the Irish immigrants are much more reasonable. We're just making it easier for them to get hired, really. Yes, and making sure they will not ask for better wages. Does Father Donovan know about this? I care not what he knows. I'm done with the Irish anyway. I hired one and she cost me my butler. Which reminds me, we never fined you for illegally holding Miss Patrick's identification papers. Oh, botheration. I will gladly pay any fine you like as long as it keeps you fools away from me and my home. Matthew, I cannot for a second believe that Father Donovan knows the immigrants he's trying to help are being deliberately underpaid by the wealthy. That being said, I agree we ought to keep our ears to the ground. If something reprehensible really is occurring, we shall soon hear of it. Matthew, I'm happy to see the fire spreading through New Haven did not stop you from doing your duty. Marvelous job. It was troubling to learn some wealthy inhabitants of New Haven are happy to underpay the Irish immigrants arriving in our city, I have to say. I'm sure the problem is not as widespread as you think, but your worry does you credit, Mr. Bontemps. We also have questions to answer about that gas canister mysteriously taken from the Concordian Police Department's evidence room and thrown away. However, we shan't be able to make any progress until the fire brigade has subdued the fire raging in that very evidence room. Matthew, we can only hope there shall be enough left unscathed to give us the answers we seek. Of course, as I said earlier, let's take a look at this one. December 1st, okay? But let's take a look at what sticker packs I got. But am I going to do some more cases in Elite Mode? I most certainly will. Which ones am I going to do? That's for you to find out. 5 new ones, cool. Another 5 new ones. Three new ones. Two rare ones. Cool. But only 3 new ones. Take a look at what cases I got. Boy, I got a lot on this one. we go. Case number 3 will be released on December 1st. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then.